That's perfect. That's the best we're going to get right now.
And we're on. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
We're so sorry.
In the inevitable words of the Who's down in Who'sville, we are here, we are here, we are here, we are here.
I gotta go.
All right, guys, are you good? Yeah, I'm out.
Frack
I'm
you.
out.
Frack you.
Frack you. I fracked myself, okay?
And the Viper you rode in on.
That's right.
I'm going to go ahead and plug this up to it to make sure it
Doesn't die.
I don't think it will. It's a brand new phone. So.
Oh, it'll die tonight.
Coming to you live off the Galaxy S21 Ultra with its spider-like 5 cameras. See, this is just like when we first started. We just got one cell phone, covering everything.
Back to square one.
Back to
Retro night.
and we have this awesome 4K, the Avery Media Cam 5513, which is not being promoted at all. They're not selling anything, but I paid a lot of money for this camera, and I can't use it yet. Keep posted, we'll be good. Or I'm fired.
It's a great camera.
It's a great camera.
Exactly my feeling. Thank you. That's exactly where I was going.
Get it running. Get the point, or you will get the point.
I am an infidel if there ever was one.
Somebody, if you would, please post it in the fans group page.
I will.
Or the fans group.
Just a moment.
And anywhere else online that looks fun and exciting. Woo! Boy, it was a busy night tonight.
Yeah. Yep. Hi, Dale.
Hello.
We're playing about monsters, aren't we? Can they just come in here and destroy us and be happy, die?
Look at it this way. You're going to be able to release all your aggression on buildings and tanks.
Wow, really?
Okay.
So a couple of things I want to cover real quick before we get started.
Before we get started.
Before.
We have reached our 250 follower goal on TikTok.
But we lost 200 of them after
We
tonight.
lost 200 of them after we get going. No. So Steve is giving away his dice. If you are on TikTok and following us, if you're not, you have until Monday, next Monday, to follow us, because I'm putting everybody at that point. Their names are being put into a hat, and we're going to draw some way. We're going to do it creatively, I'm sure, to find out who wins Steve's dice. Steve's dice are hanging in the bag on his back. They've been there the whole time. They're Steve's dice. And
They have witnessed many things, and so will you roll into the future of gaming.
after that, once we get to 500 followers on TikTok, we'll do another giveaway, which will probably be Mike.
Yes!
He has witnessed many things.
I have witnessed many things, and you will witness something you wish you never had.
He needs help with the couch.
Too late! Too late! Damned I am! It has been moved and put in the proper places. Bloody hard work it is.
And thank you all for tuning in and joining us and following us.
I mean, seriously, I know we've had a rough starts. I hope that's in the future going to be changed. I am going to do a bunch of software programs that I'm learning. It'll be a 5-6 hour course, so that'll help on that. We do have better equipment, and hopefully get this all streamlined, so it'll be a lot better experience for everybody. And we can just start on time and just game, because that's what we're here to game. Speaking of which,
Yes.
Dan Giffits, would you be happy?
Dan Giffins.
Dan Giffins.
That's the name I heard of Dale back in high school, back in the age of the
Years
80s.
ago.
And he's a great artist, as you already have seen. And I saw his artwork, and I asked at the art show, "Who is this guy? Who is this guy?" And they said, "I think his name's Dan Giffits." And I remember standing there in the middle of the mall going, "Dan Giffits, I'm going to meet that guy one day."
Now we're going to fast forward to part 2, which is hilarious. Years later, a few years later, I finally meet Mike through Carl Sandberg, and we hang out. We hit it off. It's just hilarious. I knew we were going to be best friends and brothers from that point on. He comes over to me in my roommate's apartment, and I'm drawing. And he's like, "Wow, that's really good. Do you have anything else?" And I pull out these pictures that I had in that show. And Mike just stares. His eyes get really big. You're Dan Gifford. And I'm like, no, Mike, my name's Dale. I thought you knew that. And it was meant to be.
Yep, you're Dan
You're
Gifford.
Dan Gifford.
Who's
that?
Yeah, I'll never forget the look of your face either. It's like, what? You're Dan Gifford. By God, I've met you.
Yeah. Mike's having a stroke. He can't remember my name.
Anyway,
All right.
little nostalgia there for everyone.
Historical stories you didn't need to know.
That's right.
So today is also Ghostbusters Day.
Yay!
You're probably wondering why we're not playing Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
Because
Yeah.
we're the Raconteur Society and nothing makes sense.
Nothing
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Rules? What rules?
What rules? Rules and rules.
We don't.
We'd
Where
also
we're
like to,
going, we don't need rules.
we'd also like to congratulate Critical Role on ending their second session. So congratulations, guys.
Yep.
We don't know you. You don't know us. That's fine.
It's probably a good thing for them.
Somebody does.
All right.
Anyway.
You guys want to go ahead and get started then?
Yes,
Yep.
by the
Now
love
I'm
of
done.
God.
Good night, everybody. Have a good time.
Yeah. The love of all gods, yes.
May Shylud guide your way.
Yes. This is the game we're playing, Dawn of the Daikaiju. It's from Savage Worlds, Pinnacle Incorporated. Yes, the guys who brought us Deadlands.
Ba-bum.
Pinnacle, we don't.
And Deadlands Noir. And
Deadlands Hell on Earth and Deadlands Lost Colony, among thousands of others. Necessary Evil,
Never heard of the
Yeah.
thing before, but
some of
yeah.
ours.
Yeah.
But this is Dawn of the Daikaiju, and basically it is a tribute, a loving tribute to giant monster movies. So yeah, we're going to be playing giant monsters. Yes, and they're human companions, because I wanted to include some of that too.
Gamma Man. Gamma Man. No one
likes to
can
do
but
things
Gamma
with
Man.
his hand.
He can crush it.
Alright, hot stuff.
He likes to touch little kids.
Touching me where he touched you.
Radiates.
The girls like you? Huh?
Emotion.
How about the guys? Huh? How about the animals?
And the animals? How about the Gaijus?
How about the kaiju? The Daikaiju. They like you?
Where did he step on you? Show me where
Yeah.
he stepped on
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Where's that genie with the magic belt buckle on?
Oh, God.
you. Oh, rub me. Rub it. I'll make your wish come true. Is it a Gaiju?
We're back to playing tune again.
Yep, never mind.
All right. So this game starts. The way they have this written is kind of interesting, but we're going to do it up a little different. There's actually a narrator and roles, and it tells you what's going on. So I'll be reading part of that to you. It actually says we should assign roles and pass around the book so you can read it in your different voices and all that. But we are going to incorporate our human characters, so we're going to change this up. So we are going to... Some of the narration stuff I'll read out loud, and then we'll get into some role-playing bits. So, and
Yeah.
then it gets to what's going on with the giant monsters, and that's where we get into the actual main dice rolling and everything. So,
I have all this room down here. It's crazy.
Well, that's because you have the plague. You're just a big Gaiju.
Yeah, I didn't get COVID. I got
The
bubonic.
plague, the plague of the plaque. Was that spelled right?
Yeah, pig of the black.
Your thing just went.
Quit looking at this thing.
your thing just went. That's what she said.
Yeah, I knew I tried to
That's
stop
proof
it.
enough that Dennis is an alien. Your thing went.
Your thing, you went Pukutu. My planet is a zing ding.
I don't understand this going thing.
It's going. Oh, goodness.
All right, so we're going to start with some narration to set the scene. Fishing vessel, northwest of Guam, night. 3 fishermen play cards in the cabin. The boat rises and falls. The 3 men look at each other worriedly. Good thing I won brown pants.
Brown
Brown
parents.
pounds.
Look here, kid. I don't want you in the boat. Get off. I hate you so much. All the other ethnic slurs.
Oh no, not that.
We're gonna apologize for that in advance.
We
It
are
is
an 18 plus channel. Yeah.
They rush to the deck and look out at the rolling sea.
Wait on the hot.
Glowing green energy cackles beneath the surface.
Cackles.
Cackles.
I want to know what kind of dice the sea is rolling.
Yeah. The glowing green energy crackles beneath the surface in the distance, growing closer and closer. The fishermen watch in horror as the lights pass directly beneath them. Just before it passes, the men see a gigantic black and yellow eye looking up at them, glowing with radioactive power. This can only be... Yep.
Daikaiju.
And that was the game for tonight. Thanks, guys, for coming.
I don't know about you, but I pooped myself. I was just like
I
those
was
guys
so
playing.
scared I shit his pants.
Get those back.
I did that the other day. So.
You shit someone else's pants.
What kind of job do you work? Give me those pants. I'm your supervisor. There you go. That'll teach you. Now load that truck.
I'm going to give you your final warning. Let me borrow your pants. Let me borrow your pants.
Is there like some sort
This is your
of...
final warning. Just wait. Just don't screw up again.
Don't take them off.
You won't like what happens next.
I got 3 streaks in my pants. I got one more. I'm done. I can't turn it out
3
anymore.
strikes. No 3 streaks. Have you out of here so fast you're going to leave skid marks.
Too late.
Okay, so we've read the first paragraph. We've read the first paragraph of Daikaiju and her already on the vomit jokes.
We warned you in advance. We are goofy gamer guys, okay?
This is what happens when we get
If
started
you're
late.
still here, it's your own fault.
We're going to blame this on sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
Oh, lack of sex a whole bit.
I'll vote for that.
Yep.
Wait, wasn't Uranus in retrograde or something? I don't know.
I don't know. Something streaked across the sky and I don't know what happened. And some guy got fired again.
And somebody wrote a song about it. They gotta have the streak. Okay.
All right.
Woo.
So, cut to. What is it, the camera station?
We can start over.
Quit! Shut that live stream now. Start over again.
Yeah,
Everybody loves
we
that.
gotta be consistent on our stopping and starting.
Yeah, it's been 20 minutes. We gotta stop now.
Yeah, come on, we gotta stop it.
Is anybody watching the stream to see if he's still going? Because I don't know. I don't have a phone to monitor it today. My phone is the camera.
Oh well.
I'm gonna shit when Dennis
Well,
says it ain't even on there.
It's going. Something to him.
Okay.
Viewers? They probably left.
The
All
street.
right, they're starting the game, man. They're talking about poop. For 10
We're
minutes.
out of here.
We're done.
Mark Zuckerberg's like, no.
Yeah, we got 2.
Thought it was Dawn of the Daikaiju.
We got 2.
Not Dump of the Daikaiju. What is this? King
What a
Kong?
crappy game session.
Ain't this a shitstorm?
Radioactive poo.
For my thing, I can't tell how many viewers I got. So. Okay.
All right.
Gosh darn it.
We needed that.
Yeah, we did. Okay. So, Kimon Station on the Bonin Islands is a huge fortress of a command center.
Right.
The Bonin Islands are basically huge islands.
Freaking huge.
Freaking huge.
Oh, that's so big.
Bigger than
I think they were made of Scotland,
She's
and then
got-
I moved them down
She's
there.
got huge tracts of land. So yeah, there's one ginormous island and then a few smaller but still large islands.
That's Ireland in English.
That's yeah. And they are all. It's basically a sanctuary setup. So there are force field generators. It's like Jurassic Park on steroids to keep the Daikaiju in the Bonin Islands and keep them away from
Human.
civilization, basically.
Right.
Civilization.
Yeah, and they can be studied, they can be kept safe, and keep the world safe from them not rampaging. But it's kind of like a big preserve. In the
Preserves.
strawberry preserve. In the control room of one of the main towers of Kimen Station is Amiko Tanaka. She is the director of the Bonin Islands Daikaiju Sanctuary. She is the top scientist, one of the top scientists working with the Daikaiju. She almost has an ability to kind of intuit what they're thinking, more so than most others. Like the premier Daikaiju behaviorologist.
Watch your mouth.
I know. And she is standing in a control room before a massive screen, and it is showing something coming up from the water. It's probably about morning, so it is early dawn. It is early dawn. The Daikaiju are roaming about the Bonin Islands. So, I mean, as your Daikaiju
So there's something approaching the island
from the ocean.
Okay, just making sure I got that right.
Yeah. So, as far as your Daikaiju, you're in the sanctuary, you're doing whatever you normally do. Yeah.
Gum gum dum dum.
So, there are some that are nesting, there are some that hunt. They do have, like, livestock they put out, so you can eat handfuls of cattle, whatever you eat if you're an omnivore. Once in a while, Daikaiju do get into fights. So there are some that don't exactly get along.
cow.
Yeah, there's some that don't get along.
You stepped on my toe.
A lot of them tend to stay on one side of the island opposite of another, just so it's kind of like you're stuck here. It's prison.
Yeah.
So
Now, is each section cordoned off, or is it like all open?
it's kind of all open, but they do
Okay.
have sectioned off areas. So if there's one, like, let's say there's a Daikaiju that's fully sapient,
Mm-hmm.
and it keeps getting picked on by the others, they might put it in isolation to keep it safe, so they can
Okay.
study.
That's
a
what I
little
kind
more.
of figure where Moai is because he's sentient.
Yeah.
He can think and talk and everything.
Yeah. They don't usually keep them in confinement because they find that keeping Daikaiju severely confined actually
Makes him angry.
gets them enraged, no matter if they're sapient or not. They don't like being
Right.
pent up.
He probably is.
You've been trapped in a mountainside for eons, so you're
Right.
probably like, don't put me in a cage.
Yeah. Look, I want to wander.
Yeah. So you can wander. Most of the area is just an open sanctuary. So it's got mountains, it's got jungles, it's got just about every kind of terrain there is. Give me a pencil. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna borrow this one. Thank you.
Pen.
That's what I want.
Moai is his name.
Okay. So they're just wandering about, and we'll get to them in a minute. But inside the control room, Dr. Tanaka is watching this image, and there are like 10 or 12 scientists who are kind of doing your mission control, tracking it, seeing how big it is, what it is. The radioactivity level is spiking, somebody says. Into the room comes a general who is also kind of the U.S. general in charge of this operation. His name is General Richter, and he's basically coming into the room like, well, what is it? And I don't know if you know the actor, Ted Levine. He was in, God, how many of you seen Monk? The
Oh,
TV
yeah.
show?
Oh, that
Yeah.
way.
His
Oh,
captain.
that guy. Yep.
And he was in.
He's so awesome.
Oh, he's hilarious. He was in Evolution as a general, and he was great. So that's why I'm basing General Richter on. So he comes in, and he's like, "Well, what do we got? What's going on out there?" Yeah, I can't do Ted Levine.
Yeah, I can't. He's
Nobody can. But anyway, he comes into the room with that, and she's basically, well, we're tracking something approaching, and I think I know what it is. About this time, you guys, your human counterparts, have all been recruited into Kaimon Station because you all have a connection with these creatures. There are several people like that here. So not only do you have military and scientific personnel, some of the people on this base are actually civilian. So either civilian, or they may have some like military background or science background, but there are some who are civilians. or religious followers. So it's a little bit of all walks of life here, but I'd say about 10 or 15% of the staffing is people who are connected to Daikaiju. So, we'll kind of have you guys are basically kind of wandering into the room. There's been kind of proximity alarms going off, so you guys know if there's proximity alarms, you guys should probably report to here. Mainly because you guys have the biggest connection to some of the kaiju, the Daikaiju. And you also have some skills. You are a helicopter pilot. So it's kind of like, hey, if we need your help. We might need you to get into a chopper and help out.
Right.
You know, you are actually, is
Stripper.
his wife a scientist?
Yes.
So she's actually a scientist, so she's going to be there. There is another female scientist that's going to be there, and for instance, you have the biggest connection to Shai-Lud, so you're kind of a spiritual advisor also, maybe even a moral advisor. You know, sometimes the general's like, the general, you know, is kind of like, if it gets bad enough, we're going to nuke him. You know, I don't, Tanaka's like, don't kill him.
Infidel.
Right. And he's like, we're going to kill him if they do something horrible, but otherwise we'll try not to kill him. But sometimes you found that you guys can be actually the voice of reason, being connected to your own Daikaiju. It's kind of like that. Yeah, you can kind of make the general see sense in trying to keep these things safe or alive or reason. And same with Tanaka. Sometimes you can kind of draw her back to. She has a good way of anticipating what they're going to do, or if there's something going on, she's like, "Oh, what is this?" Sometimes you actually get to put it in perspective for her that these are not just creatures to be studied. They are creatures and have emotions, some of them. So, yeah, you guys have been kind of helpful in these endeavors. So as you guys wander in, you see the control room. Tanaka's up there. General Richter's up there. There's a few other people you have met. There's a scientist, Hitomi Sato. She's probably in her late 20s, mid 20s. She is Japanese. Obviously long dark hair. She would have the pretty edge. She's wearing the lab coat, stuff like that, wears the spectacles, and usually carries a laptop. You guys know that she is also a Daikaiju behaviorologist, but her brother was even more intuitive with these things than maybe Tanaka. And he was very well respected and very well looked up to. He died, or was dying of cancer. So he and his sister actually copied his brain algorithms into a program. So they would have this program that could help continue his research and her research and Tanaka's research. Well, they built a guardian for the Daikaiju. They wanted to build a giant mech that would kind of help keep them in check if need be. And when they downloaded this program into it, it actually became self-aware, an AI. So her brother is in this big mech, but he doesn't quite remember who he is. So she can kind of communicate with him, but he is not fully there. But he actually believes he is a Daikaiju of some sort. So he's in among the sanctuary with you, your monsters. And he looks like the big Japanese anime mech, like Voltron or something like that.
How big is he?
It's about the same size as a Daikaiju. He is, let's see, he's got a size of 16. So he's about an average size for a Daikaiju, maybe a little larger. So just imagine the things from Pacific Rim, the Jaegers. He's like that. So
Okay, about 10 stories tall?
10 or 12, I'm assuming.
Okay.
So I have an idea what he looks like in my mind, but I haven't drawn it. But yeah, just imagine one of the Transformers from the Michael Bay movies, all the moving parts and all that stuff, or the Jaegers. And he has a call sign named Caretaker 5, because that's what the robot was called. They actually built 7 of these mechs, and they called them Caretaker mechs. And they were kind of like, if the force field fails, these things would come in and keep the Daikaiju at bay. The Daikaiju have destroyed all of them but one. When they did
Number
the first
5,
test
right.
run, it was basically like, oh, come in and keep the Daikaiju safe. And they all just went, screw you. Even some of you Daikaijus probably took these mechs down, except for one, because it actually was an AI. He's sentient. He actually reacted. He wasn't just programmed. He was actually reacting to you and kind of like calming you down because he is a Daikaiju behaviorologist. So
Right.
Caretaker 5 is the only one left. And he is now just in the sanctuary. He's gone native, so to speak. So you also see some other characters. Sergei Krezhnev is a Russian ace fighter pilot who's been recruited to the Kaiman station. Werner Bolstein is a German engineer.
What a bunch of Bolstein.
he basically helped design the caretaker robots and some of the force field generators and stuff. Malcolm Rutherford is a British pilot. And there's Kenji Ioto, a Japanese inventor who helped Bolstein invent like some of the force field generators. And out in the ocean is Admiral Hensley, who is an American. He has a battleship out there.
America.
Yep.
Oh, America.
So you come in and you see what's going on the monitors. Tanaka's like, I believe it's Ryujin, which you know is nicknamed the Monarch of the Monsters. That story you were reading, Rob, that's Ryujin.
Right.
So
That's what he sounds like too when he.
He does, yeah, especially after he's been drinking.
Yeah.
Had a couple tanker trucks of Guinness, and boy,
Woo! Oh, so he's Scottish.
that's Scottish.
You gonna get any bacon haggis up on this
IPA.
island? I'm so hungry.
$20 a bottle.
Wow.
That
How
would
much?
work. I don't know, it's like $20 or something. He said.
Jeez.
What?
I don't know. $5 or $10. I don't know what it is.
Smooth?
I said I tried.
Is it an ale or what?
It's
An IPA.
IPA.
Hmm.
Indian Ale. Imperial Indian Ale IPA. Dogfish Head.
Dogfish head?
Mhm.
Is it like Puppy Monkey Baby?
I don't know. I decided to try it.
Is it good?
I don't know. I'll figure it out.
He's like, I drank
What's
the whole bottle.
proof
I don't
on
know.
it? Is it like high content?
I think it's like. It's a lot, if I remember right. So I think my God, man is gonna step out his wee wee and do things.
Take him in the nerds.
Yep. Anyway, yes.
All right. So she says it's Ryujin. I think he's approaching. And General Richter's like, Ryujin here? Now? Should we be on defense? She's like, I don't really know what he's doing.
Why would he be here now?
I don't know. I don't understand. We've had this sanctuary for a long time, several years. Well, at least 2 years. If he's coming here, why now?
Go ahead, continue.
Does he feel the bestial need to mate?
I don't know. One of the scientists is like, I hope not. I don't want to see that crap.
It would be. It might be interesting to see that sort of thing happen. Could a Daikaiju mate with another Daikaiju? It would be interesting to see, but I'm not quite sure. And my husband better not think about that.
Maybe it's just hungry.
Now that is probably more. She does have a Daiku scholar. So
Is there not enough calamari in the ocean?
Maybe he ate it all.
Then release the Kraken!
I go over and hit the big button.
The Daikaiju, the Kraken comes up.
Yeah.
What? No
Ah,
autographs.
sleeping.
No autographs, please.
it's just Steve.
What? You took
Why?
my dice, now what?
Why? Take my dice and now I gotta fight calamari? That's stupid.
I was gonna. I remember
Those
now
are
when we were
suckers.
first making these characters. I was gonna actually make Steve into a character,
Oh,
large plastic dinosaur, radioactively brought to life and sentient, who whines all the time. Oh man!
So the camera on the monitor pulls back to show the Kaimon station's control station, a high-security building perched in the rocks outside the island's force field. Director Tanaka and dozens of technicians watch anxiously as the monarch of monsters emerges from the ocean and bashes on the wall elsewhere on the island. So he actually comes up and starts hitting the pillars that hold the force field generators in place. One of the technicians says the field is holding, but his attack is attracting the other monsters. You guys in the pen feel a pull, a call, like an alpha has just sounded a summons. So you guys kind of like, all of you, no matter where you are, just kind of perk up like, and feel you need to go that way.
I don't even hesitate.
Okay. One of the scientists in the control room talks about the radiation sparking off of him. That only happens when he's agitated and distraught. Oh. So there's basically sparks of lightning that are hitting the force field generators as he's bashing the wall.
Oh, shit.
And let's see. The massive 500-foot tall monster bashes into the force field again and again. Radiation sparks from his form, and electricity answers from the powerful force field. Suddenly, the enormous reptile stops. He looks toward the sea, toward Tokyo, and emits one final wail of anger. So he does the whole Godzilla roar, like pauses, looks out to the ocean in the direction of Tokyo, and just lets loose this horrible roar.
Tasmanian double.
The monarch of monsters dives back into the sea and disappears, but the monsters inside the sanctuary only become more agitated. Now they begin to beat against the field themselves, beating it with their fists, hurling their massive bodies into it, or blasting it with fiery plasma. In the control room, everybody's like, what? Tanaka's like, what would cause this? Why would they
Can I
do
do something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Interrupt.
Maybe something is... I can't... It's hard to do another language. Maybe something's irritating from Tokyo. Can we get on the sensors and see if we have anything transmitting from Tokyo itself? I saw this in another episode. But still, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, she's already she's like, yes, barking orders, get in touch with the Tokyo.
Elizabeth, is your father, is he sensing anything as well?
Okay.
Anyway.
And my empathic link with Shalud.
Okay. Basically, you're going to know Gamma Man feels a pull, a call. Something is wrong. Something is going to be wrong. And you feel like you need to go stop it. And the monarch of the monsters has pretty much told you such. Go stop whatever's happening. I'm going there. I need help. So you're answering his call. Shailud feels the same thing. Not so much in human terms, more of an animal mind. But it is like something's in danger, and the alpha of our kind wants to stop it and wants me to help. I'm going.
He's probably burrowing under the wall.
Right. Which they have that encountered, so they've actually dug pylons and force field generators down to the ocean floor. So when you burrow under, you're going to hit a force field still. They've already taken into account the burrowing aspect of you and some of the other Daikaiju. So it's like,
how far under the floor do they burrow?
Right. So you can try, but eventually you're going to hit bedrock, and you won't be able to burrow through bedrock.
Okay.
So, but you can do an attack from below if you wish.
Yes.
Okay. Rob, your character kind of has that same sense, not as significant as a pull of the animal creatures. Right. Gamma Man, you're you're not in control of yourself, right? You don't have like...
He's a little bit...
He can kind of come to the surface, but he's usually like the Hulk. Is that Kind of how I'm seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the alien thing, but he's there. It's kind of like somebody else is driving, but they have your consciousness, like your morals,
Gotcha.
Everything else. So
Okay.
it's kind of like, so it'd be like an alien thought process, but then it'd be like, well, then I got to stop. These people are getting hurt, you know.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So you feel it on some instinctual level. Shailud, you feel it on a basic level. Rob, you also feel it kind of like, that's
My
interesting.
Daikaiju does.
Yeah, kind of like that.
He's probably just wandered over to the fence and looking like,
Yeah.
what is going on?
Yeah.
Ooh,
As Ryujin finishes bashing on the fence and jumps into the ocean to take off toward Tokyo, you guys have all pretty much been drawn to this section of the fence. There are several Daikaiju in here, and I will list off some of the ones that you're with. So why don't we take a moment for our viewers at home, or a viewer at home, or for ourselves, and go ahead and describe your Daikaiju in better detail. You want to go first?
Okay. Shailud is based on the sandworms of Arrakis from Frank Herbert's Dune series.
Not the Beetlejuice sandworms.
Not the Beetlejuice series. No. No stripes.
Yeah, no stripes.
No stripes. But imagine the Arrakis sandworm, and that's effectively what you've got in the form of Shailud. And he's capable of breathing a sandstorm with boulders. He can also do a reach attack with his tail, actually grapple. If he's got his opponent grappled, he can actually bite it. And he's basically a cleanser of the desert. He was actually captured when he was attacking a leaking oil refinery. Bad boys. Infidels!
Now I need to go and watch Tremors. Okay, so yeah, that's Shailud.
Right.
So you actually kind of moved up that way and started to burrow below, I'm assuming, to try and get down
Yep.
and see if you can do anything there. Okay. Rob, you want to go next?
Moai Aku is a sentient, come to life Easter Island person, not just the head. He's the whole thing, whole body. He is the Polynesian island and the Easter Islands god of the hunt, and in that sort of vein. So one day, TH was out flying around, looked down, saw Easter Island person walking around, and landed, and it began to talk to him. So they developed a connection that way. It's more like you're the first person I've run into, so I'm gonna trust you.
So he is fully sapient.
He is fully sapient.
He understands language and everything else.
Right. Well, he understands Polynesian.
Yeah. Needs a translator for everybody else.
But basically, he was a sleeping god who got woke up somehow. And that's just what it looks like a giant Easter Island head with the body with it. So.
Okay. And Mike, how about Gamma Man?
Gamma Man, basically, scientist was Drake Houston, and he was an astrophysicist and inventor, and he was very gifted with the universe. And he was married to Anna Houston, which is the female who is here. She's also a scientist, and they had a daughter who was autistic. And they worked for the Reed conglomerate, which basically is a company that owns all kinds of companies and everything else. Kind of your Elon Musk kind of a sort of thing, but a villainous kind of guy. And
Lex Luthor Musk.
Well, yes, basically Lex Luthor, and it was actually Michael Keaton. Actually, is who I idealized as this guy. What he looked like.
That's
and talked.
interesting because the new RoboCop, he's the head of OCP.
Oh, okay, well that's
He's a
perfect.
Total jerk.
Yeah, and
Total greedy jerk. And
that's kind of what this guy is. And basically, he had the satellite system that Reed conglomerate put out was trying to get this thing, and he was able to make the signal work. But by doing so, through his daughter, just who's autistic as well, they were able to send out a signal. Well, some alien race saw the signal and sent a probe back. So, kind of based on that probe that went through us here not a few while ago, and people think, oh, it was an alien probe that went through our solar system. Basically, it came here and went for her because it was based on her scientific formulas. Well, Reed jumped in between the satellite, and before it could take his daughter, he merged with this satellite. Well, it absorbed everything around the Earth and itself, and the alien turned into this weird alien bipedal creature. It basically has this one red glowing eye, almost looks like an armored turtle, big arms. You're basically your classic anime robot kind of looking guy, but more organic. And Reed's still in there. He can kind of come out, and he's there, communicates, and he can talk with his daughter. They have a telepathic link. And basically, he's like a short Daikaiju, but he's like super fast and super strong. And it kind of took the alien thing took his personality. So it kind of has some ideas, but it's kind of an alien mind too. And his thing is to protect people. So when he sees people and thing, it just thinks about his daughter and other people. So he's kind of the defender. So Reed, since he was an employee and he'd signed waivers before, basically Gamma Man became property of Reed Conglomerate, and Reed has turned him into an action figure show. He's got his own cartoon show, he's got his action figure line, and everything. So far, Gamma Man's done the right thing and helped people and saved people. If that ever goes wrong, well, I don't know what Reed Conglomerate's going to do. But
probably why they keep him on the sanctuary.
Yeah, and he kind of keeps seeing.
And he's a cash cow.
Yeah, pretty much. So, and he kind of keeps, this Reed guy keeps Anna and them close because he kind of wants to hop in the bed with Anna.
Oh.
Because she has the Purdy link. And she's very smart.
Yeah.
She's trying to find out if she can save her husband, but she knows he's in there because of their daughter. But yeah, so he's basically this little thing, but he comes back once in a while. So he's sometimes he's like there's Reed, sometimes there's this alien presence, a lot of times this is Daikaiju. You don't really know, but he protects people, he protects things. So he sees the Daikaiju thing, he'll probably keep him on the island and defend them like that. So
okay.
No, long-winded, but there you go.
Okay, cool. All right. So as you guys make for the force field here, some of the other Daikaiju that are coming with you, there's one, he is not present, so he's just going to be here. There's a giant woolly mammoth with a huge trunk, and I think he had like 3 trunks.
Yep.
And like tusks, I think he still had the tusk, and that is Wade's Daikaiju. Big, massive, woolly mammoth looking thing, and he's coming up to the fence. Caretaker 5 is kind of coming up to the fence, like behind everybody, like kind of like you.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on here? You know? There's also what looks like, just imagine a giant primate made out of ice.
Oh.
Like completely crusted ice and snow.
Wow.
So he's kind of, and he doesn't look like a classic primate. He just has the same
Stance
structure, the same stance, much like an orangutan or a chimp.
Right.
He looks more like that, but he's made entirely of ice, chunks of ice, and icicles and everything like that. He is kind of an average size Daikaiju. You guys do know about him. He is pretty much he can bite, he can claw, he does have a ranged attack, which is a cold blast that he can actually like emit from his mouth. But you have discovered he can do it from any orifice. Because he is kind of more an ape.
Right.
He
throws ice poo.
His nickname is the Abominable Snowman. That's what the scientists call him.
Right.
And yeah, he'll either breathe ice or he will fart ice or whatever. And they're just like, that's disturbing.
Yeah.
He's just a big monkey.
He's just frigid.
Yeah, he's frigid.
That's cold, man.
He is weak against fire-based attacks. You guys do know that. It hurts him a little more. There's another one here. This one kind of stays to itself on the island. It has made a nest in the jungles, and it really doesn't like being around you, and yeah, you don't really like being around it. They've called it Aracula.
Ugh.
Just imagine a giant spider like Shelob, but with these vein-ridden bat wings.
Ugh.
So it is a flying spider,
Oh,
which is
God.
like the worst thing ever.
Right.
It's really agile, really strong, pretty tough. I mean, really tough. You do know that it shoots webs and web wads. It'll stick you to the walls if it wants. It can entangle people with its webs. It'll bite. It flies, and it is poisonous.
Damn.
So this thing is mean. In fact, its hindrances are mean, vengeful, and bloodthirsty.
God.
Wow.
So this thing
It's
has...
a pissy Daikaiju.
Yeah, this one is pretty mean.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't like being around others. It likes to hide in the jungle and just snare whatever it can. Even other Daikaiju.
No
some
shit.
Some of the smaller ones, like Gamma Man, the ones that are actually smaller, it's actually devoured them. Some of the ones that are weak, it's
Shit.
like, yep, your dinner. So, but it is actually here. You know, this thing usually stays by itself, and here it is, right, trying to get out. There's another one, Tobar. He's from Persia, and it looks like kind of a rhino. They can kind of get up on 2 legs once in a while, but it prefers all 4. But instead of a rhinoceros horn, the whole front of its face looks like an axe head. I mean, it basically comes to a point.
Huh.
And it kind of comes to a point up at the top below. So if you look at his profile, looks like a lumberman's axe.
Huh.
But it's all like bone.
Mm-hmm.
It does have a habit of sharpening its face. So it's always rubbing up against trees, against metal walls, whatever it can to keep its face sharp. When it does have a mouth, and when it opens its mouth, it like the axe splits,
Right.
and it's got they look like spears for teeth. I mean, even the teeth are sharp. It doesn't really bite much though, but it does have the horn attack for its axe. This thing is also really tough. I mean, probably tougher than the spider. And you know he's also not real bright. He's stubborn. He's vengeful. He's intimidating. But he's not real smart. He's the first one to be like, kill it! And run right in.
Right.
But he's also the one that'll probably survive it.
Right.
So, yeah. These Daikaiju have all kind of gathered at this particular station, but you can kind of sense, you especially being underground, you can sense there are other Daikaiju at other points of the island, like concentrating forces to take out a generator.
Oh, jeez.
So, basically, General Richter is like, okay, we've got to stop this, folks. We're going to have to send in the tanks, get them away from those force field generators. He starts basically shouting orders to the militia to get out there and push them back. Tanaka's like, don't hurt him. He's like, yeah, okay, yeah, we won't. I doubt if we can anyway, but we're going to get them the hell away back from those force field generators. So,
General, maybe it might be a good idea to let Gamma Man at least go. Maybe we may be able to, some of these that we can control, be able to stop. If he's going to rampage across Tokyo, it might be a good idea to stop him.
well, I don't know if it's... I don't think that's a good idea yet. Let's find out what we're dealing with. Who's got eyes on Japan right now? Anybody? Tokyo? What's going on? He's pretty much shouting orders. What is going on? Why is he there?
I can fly out ahead if you like and keep an eye on things
To Tokyo?
and report back if need be.
How far is Tokyo from the Boden Islands?
It didn't really say. Quite a ways though. He's like, well, we already have the Tokyo Air Force. All of them are there. They're reporting to us. So you stay here. You might want to get in your chopper and keep an eye on things from above. If these things do start to break out, we need to know where they're headed. So fly the perimeter, if you would.
I'll talk to Maui too.
Okay.
He'll help.
Okay. So.
The first thing I'll do is go talk to Maui.
Okay. Well, he's at the force field generator.
Okay.
So you're going to load up in your helicopter. But by the time you get to your helicopter and do your thing, by the time anybody else has time to do anything like that, we're going to go to the Daikaiju.
Okay.
And this is where you're attacking the force field generators.
Okay.
So, you guys will kind of understand this, especially the Sepia characters. Kaiman Station houses the power plants and force field generators for the Bonin Islands, the Daikaiju monster sanctuary. The heroic kaiju, summoned at some primordial level by Ryujin, monarch of the monsters, sense something terrible is wrong and something that threatens the planet. They must escape.
Okay, well, that means the human race. So there we go.
The kaiju goal is to escape Monster Island. The sanctuary is surrounded by a force field that forms a dome 500 feet above sea level. Below the island is solid bedrock. Even creatures with the burrowing ability can't penetrate it to reach the sea. So there you go. Okay, the action begins in combat rounds. So, cards.
Oh, we get cards.
Yeah.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
And I'll need a deck too if you get a spare deck. I forgot to bring one. But I had one in my coffin. Thought I had one.
I had one in my coffin, but I didn't.
So roll quickness or
Spare tuxedo. Yes, roll quickness. And you guys remember how this works?
do
in
we have
Savage
quickness?
Nope.
World? Oh, not quickness. I'm sorry. It is. Oh, there is no roll. That's right. Everybody gets one card. You just deal in.
Oh.
That's right.
Oh, bloody hell! My God. I got
Ah, that maker.
Does it matter who goes to card first?
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you're there.
Oh.
You're there. I'm here.
Ooh. The hell's on the chocolate?
Daikaiju.
Daikaiju, and this will be.
Richter.
No,
What kind of scale?
Huh?
You said Richter, so what kind of scale?
Oh.
Fishy.
Fish scale. Oh.
Oh, the pain.
Oh. Is the stream still live?
Yep. And we're going at 3 years.
It's all right.
That's
Is anybody talking?
um, picking up a chat window. Well, half an hour ago, Ben had said, Daikaiju, I choose you.
That's one hell of a Pokeball. They must be like the little dinosaurs you put in the water.
You're like the Pokédome. The Pokédome.
The Pokédome.
Ben had also said, kill it with fire. And this sounds like an anime. Where's the Canadian? What is it? It's a kaiju. What else do you think it was? Thank you, Ben.
Sorry, Ben, we haven't been keeping up on the chat, buddy. But thanks for joining us. And Ben, we reached our 250 follower goal on TikTok.
Yay!
You might get a chance to win Steve's dice.
Yay.
Now I just need to hit the 50 subscriber goal on YouTube and give away Steve's other dice.
Okay, alright. Gotta figure out who all I need cards for here. So, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Alright.
Yes, I do.
So, I don't know if you can see this. You have one in your book too. That's Kaimon Station with the generators.
What page?
And there's the force field. Page 13.
Okay.
So you got the force field here, and these are the maser cannons,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys are on this side of the force field. So you're basically trying to batter and put enough force against the force field and knock it out, and then get past the station and get away. That's your goal this evening. So, been a while since we've done Savage Worlds Combat, so I'm going to have to look some stuff up once in a while, but bear with us. But I do know aces.
There's bears too.
There could be.
Lion from tigers and bears. Oh my.
Daikaijus.
Kings,
Freeze.
queens, jacks. Okay, jacks. All right. So the Mazers open up firing upon you guys.
I
Basically,
thought the
trying to get
mazers
you-
were outside the force field.
They are, but they're lasers. They fire through the force field because they're
Oh.
particles
Right.
instead of a physical attack.
Mhm.
So they can fire through the force field. So they are going to basically fire at some of you kaiju.
In other words, it's waving at us.
Yeah. Now you are underground, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys, are you up there attacking, or are you staying back?
He probably would have been one of the smarter ones to know that the generator is what's making that happen. So he probably is headed for one of those that's headed for that.
Okay.
If he knows, if he's under the understanding that he has to get out, take out what's he's a hunter, so yeah, you take the legs out. Take the
Yeah.
legs out as what?
Yeah.
Take out the generator.
Okay.
So which side of the fence is the generator on?
It's on the inside, isn't it?
No, it's on the outside.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, it's
So-
that station is basically.
Oh, gotcha.
the
So
generator.
he'd be pushing on it probably, or whatever
Yeah.
he thinks he needs.
So
out.
basically, you're trying to put enough force on the force field to actually get it to shut down,
Right.
like overload the system, essentially.
Right.
Um,
Guess it wouldn't make sense to
How
put the generators
high-
inside the enclosure.
How high up does the force field extend?
It's 500-foot dome.
Don't. Okay.
Dome, da dome, dome, dome.
Dome.
To keep the damn flying spider inside.
Yeah, that's probably what it. Ugh! Put a dome on that. Is that like a bug zapper?
You see it up there.
This thing. Okay. Let me check something here before we get started. There we go.
Phew. I'm having hell waking up today for some reason.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Geeks and Gamers Camp will be returning next year.
Oh, neat.
In
It will be in
22.
2022. It will be taking place in the spring. Somewhere.
Somewhere out
Alright.
there,
So the Mazers.
the gamer camp will come.
Gamma Man, are you right up front as well, or are you hanging back?
He's hanging back.
Okay. Alright. And you're right up there trying to beat the force field down as well?
If it's that big of a calling, he probably.
Yeah.
And because he hasn't talked to TH yet, he's probably
Right.
like, well, okay, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. So.
Something bad's happening. I got to get out there.
I guess I should get some-
If he sees TH, he'd probably stop and try to tell TH, I must get out. You know,
Right,
like-
yeah. Try and communicate with him immediately.
Right. He doesn't talk with anybody but TH. Even
Yeah.
when TH tells him to talk to somebody else, he's like, no.
He really talks, I'm telling you.
And the funny thing is, on my old phone, I had a translator with Polynesian.
Oh, really?
I could type it in and it would speak, so I could tell. I could actually sound like my Daikaiju, but my old phone is gone.
No.
Oh no.
I got to figure out how to work this one.
Refine the app.
I'm going to take it to the repair guys and have them fix the screen so I can transfer everything over to this one. Then I'll have it again.
Okay. So the Mazers shoot at a couple of the Daikaiju. Tobar gets hit, and so does Aracula, probably just because they don't like him. He scares it.
Just aim at the goddamn flying spider. It's
Get the flying spider. I don't care what they say. Kill it.
nothing worse than sharks with lasers. on their
William
head.
Shatner's probably operating one of the controls.
You must shoot this thing.
The masers basically glance right off of them.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, one of them glances off Oracula's like backside, back, and just scores right off, and he scurries up the rock encampment that's above Kaimon Station. Like, as soon as that force field goes, it looks like he could probably leap onto the station. He's just waiting for it. Tobar gets hit right in the face, and basically just he doesn't even notice. He doesn't even have a scorch mark. He's still just ramming the force
Chopping
field.
at the force field in his face. Yeah.
So okay, so that was that. Jack's 10s, 10.
And Shaloud is directly attacking the force field.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your strength.
Okay, that is the 12 with a plus 16. Popped. 17 plus 16 is 33.
33.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you bash into the force field, and you feel it kind of waver, but not as much as you would expect. So you kind of hit it, doesn't do anything. So up top, well, 9s, I guess. Did you have a 9?
I have an 8.
9s. You notice here, approaching from some areas nearby, a group of tanks, and they're like drone tanks. So you hear the ratcheting of their treads, and they're kind of headed this way. So you got tanks incoming.
Backpack drones.
Bagpipe drones. Yeah. That is so annoying. 8.
Alright, Gamma Man, he has engineering. So he's going to pause and think. It's like, okay, wait. I know I have to get out there because something is going to damage humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So is there, with his engineering, can he figure a way to shut him down?
The easiest way, the force fields have a certain hardness number. You have to get that much damage or more.
Okay.
The best way to do it is have Daikaiju attack together. Like, everybody hit it all at once.
Okay.
Or a couple of them hit it all at once.
Did I have to roll for that with a D4, or is that just something?
No, it's just something
Okay.
you would probably be able to understand.
Okay. So where are the two? Is everybody attacking random?
Yeah, it seems like most of the Daikaiju are just kind of bashing on the walls. You need to get them to do it at once.
Okay. Was that my action, or I can try and do something?
I'll just try and do something depending on what it is.
He's close to me, right? Or is he up ahead?
Probably because you can talk.
And you were hanging back as well.
And I have sign language. That's how I
So-
communicate. So.
Oh, is it? Yeah, he doesn't have that. He just speaks.
Well,
Norwegian.
Caretaker 5 is back there with you guys because he's just basically like the zookeeper's like, should I let him out or not? I think I
Yeah.
should. So the big anime
yeah.
robot is right behind you guys. So you're like,
Is he multilingual?
Yeah.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
programming.
Well, I'll turn to him and I go, I'll sign to him that basically,
I want
whatever-
ice cream. Is your poop funny?
he points at the ice monkey.
do you poop? Do you poop on it?
What's a bolt? Two-piece poop ice cream.
Yeah, I got assigned to him. I'm like, whatever it is could destroy all of man. And I'm like, we need to hit and out.
Okay. He basically nods, kind of looks over at you.
I'm picking up a tree
Yeah.
Okay.
when he says something to me.
Okay, let's see.
Because remember, he uses tools. He's a hunter. So
He's a tool user. He's a tool.
That was probably like, right.
Yeah.
I gotta pee.
Yeah. Didn't make his roll. So he basically looks at you and kind of points at your tree. And he's like, apparently Gamma Man had to take a poop. So, alright. That was 8s,
Mm-hmm.
7s. Let's see.
Kevin had to poop. He wanted ice cream.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
He just saw the situation and he said, crap.
Literally.
Craptastic.
Okay, so let's see.
How's the stream, Dennis?
Let's turn it back on.
Ooh.
It's looking good.
Okay. I'm not on your internet, so there's literally nothing pulling on your internet right now, so you can leave it alone.
Ben had said that he saw 260-ish now. Oh, he must have been. He must be.
Oh yeah, we're like
TikTok.
267, I think, is where we're at now. We just keep getting followers. So. Now the really cool thing is, I'm only like 200 and some odd people off my personal account hitting 1,000. So we might be going live on TikTok on my personal account before we go live on the Raconteur.
Oh, hey,
So yeah, I don't know why. Literally, it's gone crazy too. I'm over 500 or over 600, I think, followers right now on my personal TikTok, and it just.
Well, that's what you showed your junk, so I guess that's what it is.
You showed your junk on TikTok.
All you gotta do is whip a
I
boot
got all
out.
kinds of
I
followers.
got all kinds of followers. Yeah.
Okay. Tobar runs right into it, head first. Kind of does the same thing that you would have done below. You see the force field actually kind of shimmy and then just solidify again. Kentuka actually has jumped off of one of the large trees, just jumped at it, and as he hit it, he just like an ape against the dome. Same thing, but a little bit. It actually kind of like shorted out for a split second and solidified. So I mean, you guys are doing damage, just not enough. So I can tell you that the hardness of the force field is 50. You did 33. Kentuka did 34, and Tobar did 26. So it's like you're right there. That's why it's going to take a concerted effort to knock this thing down. So, all right, and Oracula is just up there, basically,
Waiting.
yeah, looking at the people moving around in Kaiman Station, just drooling like.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat them motherfuckers.
Yeah, that looks tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Cracker Jacks. I'm gonna call it Cracker Jacks because there's a prize inside. All right, so that was 7s, 3s.
3. He would have been. Milo would have been watching this whole thing.
Right.
And then preparing himself. When he sees the other kaijus hit and do that, the thing does a and the other one hits. Could he deduce, just from watching that, maybe if we concentrated all of our hits at once?
Intelligence roll.
Go ahead and make a smarts check. Target number 4.
Smarts is not very. 1.
Don't forget to roll your wild dice too.
Oh shit! I forgot. Okay, well, this will be the wild die.
Oh,
3.
I forgot about wild dice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So 3 was your highest.
Right.
Okay. Looks like fun.
Okay.
That's fine. So go ahead and roll your strength. And for those of you who are out of cards, if you want to go ahead and deal more cards.
Do I need to roll another die with it also, or
Yes, you get your wild die with it as well.
which is a D6, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, 6 and 12.
Ooh.
So I popped on both. Is that right, or
Yep.
is this?
Keep going. Pretty sure you get wild die on damage.
12, 19
19.
plus 16
19 plus 16.
is
I got my calculator.
math.
35.
His math.
35.
I heard my.
You don't have the wild die in right at all. That's just a.
I'm gonna check. because I can't remember if you roll the wild die on damage or not. It's possible you don't. Let me check. Like I said, it's been a
Well,
while.
if not, the highest ones were on the D12 anyway, so. Except for this one popped to 6, and I had to roll again. So it still didn't hit harder than the D12 though. Oh, wait, that's a 9, not a 6, so it was 12 plus 9 is
21.
plus 21 plus 16 is
37.
37. Still not enough.
Okay, you do not add a wild die to the roll,
Okay.
but damage rolls do ace. So if you roll your
So
max.
he comes up to this tree and just.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't do much. Same as the others.
Right.
So
He looks at it, he like hits it, and then he goes.
next round, go ahead and draw your cards.
Good.
Oh boy. Okay. Aces. Okay.
No, actually, when he was looking at it, when he hit it, he was looking to see if it did the same thing as what he saw the other ones do.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. I'm gonna try a knowledge check one more time,
Sure, go for it.
or a smarts check. I mean, it's a D6. Come on. 2.
Okay.
So he's just gonna swing and hit it.
Okay.
6 plus 16 is 21.
Same thing. Even a little weaker.
Then it said that it noticed it with when he hit it. You wouldn't necessarily know if it was weaker, but did it act different?
No, basically the same. It is a little weaker, but it does the same kind of thing, especially with the tree.
Well,
And you notice the tree is actually kind of splinters every time you hit it, like it's
right,
breaking apart.
right.
So,
Well, he's a hunter, so
Yeah.
you always got to
yeah,
analyze your prey, how you
Right.
damage it,
right,
so we know how to damage it.
right.
So yeah, he would stop and he's like sitting there looking at. He's just kind of like, okay.
Trying to puzzle out what am I doing wrong. So that was aces, kings, queens, jacks, tens, nines. Okay.
I have the same problem at work sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try this. Ooh. He's a smart fella.
Clever girl.
He is not. Yeah, he is. All right. So Tobar is gonna ram the thing again. Let's see. Doesn't do anything to it. Kentucka gonna hit it. Sees Tobar hit it. Sees you looking at your trunk. Your trunk. Your tree trunk.
I am the phallic god.
Ooga ooga.
This made me awfully hard here.
It's a Woody.
It's so tingly.
My morning wood. Kentucka looks down and sees you kind of like, and Tobar hits it and just bounces off again. And he kind of looks behind and sees these two back there. And he's starting to realize, what are they waiting for?
So we're going to talk to each other.
Yeah, he's kind of looking to see, like, why aren't
That's
you
the
up here
monkey?
helping? Yeah, that's the ice monkey. He just starts singing, "Let it go."
Let it go. Can't
No,
get out this
so-
goddamn cage. Let it go.
That was 9s, 8s, 7, 6. The Mazers are gonna fire again.
Pew pew. Pew. Pew pew. Pew. Potato.
Just like in church.
Pew pew pew.
Actually, let me check something because I forgot he would have gone on the kaiju wounds. There's a couple ones. He didn't even see that. Okay. Mazers fire again, so that is going to be.
Hey, Mike,
Yes.
can you check the audio on the IC real quick? See if they can hear us or not.
I will wait. Actually, Dennis is on. So. Yes.
I can hear the dice rolling. So they
That's
are
right.
hearing something.
That's what you get when you get a $1,600 phone.
The Mazers, one fires at you.
Oh, shit.
You're like, what's wrong with this tree trunk?
Those
It
three-
basically catches fire, like, fire! You have a torch.
Right. It's hardening.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
So-
would have known that. He went like,
So he's like, thank you. One of the others fires off and hits Tobar, and he doesn't even know he got hit. So, and the third one actually fires at Kentucka and misses. So they fire off. That was 6s, 5s. Okay.
Okay. All right. We've got the speed of 10. The base. You got that run.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
Okay. He's gonna run up and basically like try and get their attention. And then, yeah, basically going up. And I'm like,
look at my wiener.
like, kind of like,
Well, actually, before you run up, just as you're like, all right, I need to run up there, you see Kentuka is looking at you like,
okay. I go,
and Caretaker didn't even see it. He's just like, yeah, yeah,
okay,
yes,
okay.
yes.
I'm gonna run up like that and go like you and me together, you know, kind of like
Okay.
together, you know, basically try and do something.
Pantomiming.
Well, Kentuka understood that perfectly. He's like,
Together, okay. So then I'm gonna,
He's gonna jump down next to you. Caretaker comes striding up.
yeah, and then basically we're gonna run up, and then basically I'm gonna like do my stance if I can, and do my ranged attack.
Okay. Actually, as you guys line up, what you'll have to do is wait till everybody has cards to act on.
Okay.
So you're just kind of charging up your power attack.
Yep.
As you go up, Tobar kind of like shakes his head, goes to move forward, and you see Caretaker just grab him by the neck
Yeah.
and stop him. And like, I'm just kind of like, okay, let's see if he figures out what he's trying to say.
And I said to you, you see me like wave at you guys, and we go like, all
Yeah,
of
he's
us together.
Yeah, he's just letting the tray trunk burn for a minute because he
Yeah.
knows it's going to be like a hardened tip.
Together, and then like
So
I point at
he'll
the,
look up and probably see everybody.
point at one at the
Yeah.
pylon together. So
Yeah. Well, I'll roll my knowledge next time.
You can pretty much figure it out. I'm not even going to make you roll a knowledge check because they're all kind
He-
of like, and even the Caretaker grabbed Tobar like, wait.
Yeah. Well, once he saw that, that's probably what told him. Oh, they're yeah. Okay.
Now you notice you're not doing anything below ground. You're going to stay tacking underground, or are you going to go back up?
He's down there, but with Hamas watching all this, rolling intelligence to figure out that, oh, they're going to try to all attack at once.
Makes sense.
Okay. So,
For Hamas?
Smarts for Hamas.
Yep.
56.
Look, I think they're doing the hokey pokey.
3 is the only
3.
all that I got.
Yeah, they're doing something. They're up to something, and they
Mhm.
stopped attacking. But that's all you know.
But then he probably wouldn't go gone until on the turn for
Right.
which isn't yet.
Okay. So, all right. So that was 5s for Mike, 4s, 3s.
I'm out till next round.
Okay, 2. And 2. The tanks are in view. They're kind of rumbling up, but they haven't fired yet. But they do come around the corner, so to speak. And you can hear all that going up above. I figure you burrowing, you can sense the vibrations like tremors. So, all right. So 2s.
Okay. He's just gonna. So Hamas doesn't quite figure out what's going on, and Shaloud is just going to go ahead and make an attack.
Go ahead.
And all he gets is a 7.
Okay. So bounces off. Doesn't really do much. All right. Next round.
New cards.
Gracias.
Oh, red Joker.
You can go anytime in the round, which is perfect.
Yep.
So, because they're waiting for your signal. Aces.
Who's got the lowest number right now on the?
I got a 6.
Okay, so I'll actually put mine up my sleeve
Okay.
until 6.
So that was an ace.
No, that was a 9.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I have a. So I'll go when
Okay.
I think everybody's ready.
Aces. Kings. The other kaiju put that up their sleeve.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, well, now they're all like, all he's got to do is Dragon Ball Z.
We need a slide whistle.
Ding ding, opens it up, pulls out a corn dog.
Somebody can fling the corn dog stick at Mach 30.
He just split it at him with a corn dog stick. I've never seen it.
We don't ask questions.
All right, so that was kings. Queens, the Mazers look like they're going to start firing again. So whenever, do you want to let them fire, or do you want to go ahead and do your thing? Or?
Well, I want everybody to be able to attack at once. So,
They've all got cards up their sleeves, so they're ready.
We'll
to go.
weather the storm, I think.
but he doesn't know that yet, right?
No, but he's down underground. You don't
Okay.
even know where he is.
But he's a 9.
But
Since
he-
we-
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I guess so.
Yep.
The Mazers will fire before you put that up your sleeves.
That's fine.
All right, so let's see. Now you're all up there, so okay. They miss you. They miss you. And they miss everybody else. So the 3 Mazers fire.
These were
They're like-
obviously made by the Empire.
Well, they're like, they're attacking. They stopped. Kutu. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
If the cameraman's kind of charging up, you know.
We're so used to moving targets. I don't know how to shoot them when they.
You don't know.
Stand still.
Yeah, there's like the one guy. Oh no, hey, he's going to fire, you know.
That's Canadian.
Canadian. It's Canadian.
It's banned. They punish
Yeah,
him.
you know, there,
better
that
watch
there
out,
fella,
man.
man, it's game him out, you know, man. He's gonna like charge up, you know.
Okay.
Hey, come on there, you hosers! Start shooting hosers!
It's like that force field's made of like bacon and beer.
Bacon and
He's
egg,
all
you know,
about
he's
it.
like
He's
a
like all
skillet.
about it.
Curly's and beer. Eh?
He's on a boot.
He's all about it.
Booted.
Canadian haggis.
That's bacon cheddar. Right?
Yeah, you know, don't be drinking that beer. He probably sees it, you know. Chug it.
I knew I shouldn't have been stationed at Elsinore Station. Giant mouse in a bottle.
And actually, that's the dog. Is like he's got the dog with the cake.
It's hose head.
Hose head.
Canadian skunk hound.
Yeah.
He's like just a giant.
It's a giant skunk dog with a cape.
Xander and Sword beer. Oh, Lord. Well, when it
Sorry,
gets
that was
9,
funny. Okay. So yeah, when it gets to 9, that can be your cue card. So you guys all attack at once.
Well, 6.
Well,
Well, he doesn't know anything about it
Yeah.
because
Right,
he's
but
underground.
but we're all waiting for everybody to get there. So his thought would be, okay, well, I'll go when everybody else goes.
Okay. Well, everybody here is
Right.
ready.
Right.
Yeah.
He is nowhere to be found.
You don't
So
know
what,
where he's
what
at.
I'm
haven't
saying
seen-
is probably what it would play out to be is everybody's waiting. He's just gonna fucking come up out of the ground and hit it anyway,
Right.
which means we'll all go at the same time. Which would probably be in an animal instinct if we're all holding our actions, and he doesn't know to hold an action. When he
Yeah.
would go, that means that means go.
Okay.
You know, so
Well, he went underground before this even started, so you haven't seen him
Haven't
since
seen
this fight.
right, but
Can't
he's
lose at all.
holding off his attack until
yeah, we
somebody
don't know.
else
There's
attacks.
no, there's
Yeah.
no.
He's not leading the attack.
No,
Yeah.
no. I'm just saying you don't have to wait till his card. You just have to wait till his
Well,
card.
out of game, I'm waiting for his card. In game, he's just waiting to see
Okay.
Yeah.
who's going to
All
attack.
right.
So
Okay. Well, basically,
not metagaming, just saying.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question because I have a range attack, but I have fighting. So is that a different skill?
Depends on what your range attack is.
It's that beam weapon thing. So is that
That would be fighting. Because
So
it's kind of like throwing a punch. You have to
Okay.
focus on what you're doing.
So it's the same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to focus and fire when it's Rob's card.
Okay, so at 9, you're kind of like, and what are we doing?
So if he fires, that triggers that.
Yeah, as soon as he fires, because they were holding their cards, so as soon as he fires, they're all going to
Then
attack.
I will also.
So you will attack too. So, everybody,
Except for Dennis.
don't make a fighting roll unless you're using a ranged attack, because there's a chance you could go bust.
I'm going to
right?
jam a tree trunk into the thing.
That's fine. So, all we're going to do is roll our strengths
Okay.
and total them up. Did you go bust?
I went bust.
Oh, both came up ones?
Oh wait. Oh.
Yeah. Only a
4.
4 dice.
Do you need on strength? Do you get do you have to do the secondary? Or
No, you don't get the wild die on strength, so just your basic.
Did 4 miss? I need a 5.
Target number's 4.
Oh, okay.
Did it pop?
20. Wait, 20 plus 16.
36.
36. So he walks up. The flaming tree trunk.
Of justice. 27.
There's 50 right there. Just in yours and mine attack.
Oh, hey, oh, buddy. Oh, come on, man. You got to get the bacon, you know.
You were Jamaican all this.
I know. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna guy,
like you
man.
jerk chicken, yeah.
So, you guys all rush forward at once, attack it. The hardness is 50 for the force field. Total, you did 114.
It's just like,
All of the Daikaiju just, they're like, well, what are they doing? And you all start charging, and you start charging up, and they're all like, oh, shit. You hear Richter like, oh, no, are they doing what I think they're doing?
you
Charge.
sound like,
Bum rush.
you sound like Christopher Walken. Shit. That's not the
Oh, that
Good.
focus in the
Not
eye.
very good. No,
He's the other guy. Oh, reflect,
Where's the cowbell?
More cowbell. We need more cowbell on this generator.
basically did 114 points of damage to a 50-point force field. As you guys plow through, the thing just overloads and just dissipates. And as you guys burst through, you see little guys basically jumping off the maser cannons. Like the crews are like, holy shit!
Yeah,
and
man,
running for their
shit.
lives.
Yeah.
You basically can run if you want to attack the maser cannons, if you want to attack Kaiman Station, or you can just jump in the ocean and
What is our
get out of here.
get out of here? So
That's
probably
your
would
thing.
jump in the ocean and go, yeah.
So, for instance, let's see.
Then it gets to him.
Yeah. Well,
By
actually,
which
when
point
you,
the
you are down
field is-
below,
yeah,
and the force field, as it shuts down,
No.
you're just like,
Shiloh,
and I'm going to charge you. Oh, I don't have to.
Shiloh just heads off for Tokyo.
Okay. Let's see. Tobar and Kentuka have to attack the Mazers because they have the hindrance Vengeful. So, okay. Yeah, Mazers, how much? Okay. So, Kentuka actually jumps up as the force field. Just imagine everybody's running. Kentuka's like jumping up above everybody like a primate.
Yeah.
Comes down, just smashes one of the Mazers with both his forearms, bends the hell out of the barrel, and the front housing basically collapses, lands, and he just kind of takes off. Tobar actually puts his head down, tilts, and cuts it in half as he runs over it.
Oh,
Just like he chopped a tree down.
Right.
So he just tilts his head sideways, so his axe blade is like this, because his head actually tilts all the way. And he just carves it off right where his stomach is, and yeah, it's just sparking, and the whole thing falls off to the side. Everybody else is pretty much like, let's get out of here. So Kentuka is going to swim. Aracula pretty much does jump from that rock face onto Kaiman Station.
Okay, Game Man's gonna try and interrupt then.
Okay, well, it looks like it's going to land there and kind of crouch, hiss, and then it starts flapping its wings and flying out over the ocean.
Okay.
It realizes that's kind of tough to get in there.
Yeah.
They're safe.
Yeah, it starts to move that way, but it's like,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so it basically takes off and flies over the ocean. Caretaker,
Moai just would have jumped in the ocean and started swimming.
Oga.
He actually swims
keep hearing the crash,
really well because
the
he's.
Crash
Yeah,
Bandicoot.
Shailut underwater is just going along the surface of the bedrock.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, up topside, Hamas is getting this thing like, this is an experience I have not felt before. It wet. Shailut's never been underwater before.
Right.
So,
Tommy is kind of like,
wet.
so it's Shailut is traveling under the ocean. Did you know
On the floor.
Did you know it could do that?
He's never been underwater before. This is a whole new experience.
TH would have probably made it to his helicopter right as the thing
Give
dropped.
me a towel.
He's probably like,
Dry me off. I feel
"No!" He's trying to yell
I feel
for him, like,
wet.
stop! Probably by the time he saw him go, what?
Probably he got just above and it was like, and there they go.
Yep.
That's great. So
So he probably would. He's probably in the process right now of flying out over to track them.
yeah. Caretaker 5 doesn't fly, but he's aquatic because he's on the ocean. So basically, he just actually dives into the water.
And propellers pop out and
Yeah,
fins. And
pretty much. Just, so you guys have escaped Bonin Island.
Yay! Kaiju's yay! People, fuck!
And Anna Elizabeth will run after you.
I don't think I would have right up in the air, wasn't I?
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, they'll have to do from there then. Never mind.
Well, as you get out and see that, some of the others, like the drones, tanks, were coming up. You guys broke the force field, and General Richter's like, God damn it! What happened? He's like, get in the air now! So a couple of those fighter pilots that you know were like headed to their planes.
Okay.
So if anybody needs a lift, actually the British guys, like,
Would I have had time to get in the helicopter by then and be in the air, or would I be getting there myself?
you'd probably be getting to the helicopter just as...
So yeah, you could have jumped in with him then.
Okay. Because she'd rather go with you than the other ones,
Okay.
Okay.
But he
Because
will
you,
just.
you got it. Because you have a helicopter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's more room for Elizabeth.
Okay.
To Tokyo and beyond.
Oh, I put it over here. So you are going to... She and the daughter are going with...
Well, she tries to leave her there, but of course she's like, no.
Yeah.
I have to come.
Yeah.
There's something bad. And she tells the general. And it's like, whatever it is, it's going to destroy the human race.
He's just like, damn it. The property damage is going to be astronomical. So he's pretty much getting his forces to kind of gather up, follow along,
Yeah.
and run damage control. He's preparing Tokyo to run damage control. Tanaka is like, okay, I'm going to see what I can do from here, and I'm going to try and track everything, and I'll be home base for all of you. You are going to get in your chopper with the wife and the daughter.
I'm just going to follow them.
Yeah, you might as well get in with us.
Yeah. Toshiro, or not Toshiro, Hitomi. Toshiro Sato is Caretaker 5. That's his human personality. His sister Hitomi is going to stay here with Dr. Tanaka and try and figure out what's going on. She's also going to monitor the other kaiju on the island to see if they're getting out, if they've escaped or not.
Yeah. And Anna will have, like, communication, so she could talk back with.
Yeah, we got radios in the helicopter. and
Yeah,
stuff, so-
you'll all have radios that are
I got the
right
headset
frequencies
thing,
and
yeah.
all that. So
Basically, the helicopter from that old TV show.
Riptide,
No,
the screaming
Airwolf.
no, God, that'd be awesome, you know?
That'd be awesome.
Magnum-
That's all it does. It really
Magnum
is.
PI.
Yes, thank you.
Magnum PI.
Yeah, that
Oh.
style. Oh, that.
What kind of
that-
range is that going to have?
It actually doesn't have too bad because they do tours with them.
Yeah.
But it'd probably be. I mean, I might. He wouldn't. I don't think he'd be able to make it all the way to Tokyo. Maybe.
Probably have to leapfrog to the next island,
Yeah.
get some fuel, and then go on to Tokyo.
Well, in that case, you might go. With
But it does move fast enough. He might be able to get out ahead of the kaiju. And
Yeah,
Land and
depending. Like
you know,
those of you with speed might be kind of tough to keep up with, but anybody who has a pace, a regular kaiju pace.
I don't know what the pace of a helicopter is, but yes, Airwolf. No, Blue Thunder.
Oh yeah, that was good too. That was so cool as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted that toy so bad. Cause it was just a helicopter with a Gatling gun.
Ben says land on an aircraft carrier.
There you go.
Yeah,
They probably would let me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. Admiral Hensley's out there.
Thank you, Ben.
Yes, thanks, Ben. So yeah, you can land on the aircraft carrier.
As long as I'm ahead of, well, it doesn't really
The
matter. where I'm
USS
at,
Ballbuster is what it's called.
but- Welcome to the Ball Buster.
Ben, you're in charge of logistics now.
Yeah, right, thank you.
Oh, good time to take a pee break.
You will pee and we will see. You will fuel on the sea.
European. Yep.
European.
Okay. So, you guys get off the island, and let's see, what is the next part?
Admiral Hensley notified me we had to refuel or we couldn't cross the sea.
Nice. I'll be coming to the Raconteur Society too. I don't know how long ago, probably.
Last week.
Could have been. Probably when she said the sound was low. On the other live.
Yeah.
I haven't checked that in a while.
Hoping for next week.
For
I'll get all the bugs.
oh, that's fine.
Nothing else on the fans page. So they must be watching us on the regular Facebook.
Okay, this will be fun. So basically, when you guys leave the island, the human counterparts, as you guys hear the radio chatter, find out that once the force field dropped, it started shorting out all the force fields.
Oh.
So it's basically Jurassic Park all over again.
Oh no.
All of the kaiju on the island have pretty much hit the road. So they are back out in civilization now. Some of them, Ryujin has headed for the Mariana Trench. Most of you have headed to Tokyo, and a few have scattered off other places.
Well, whichever way
I
that
thought-
we're being told to go.
Yeah, it felt like you were being told to go to Tokyo.
Okay.
I thought the Marianas Trench is in the Atlantic.
It is. He's not going to Tokyo.
Oh, this was
He's-
who? This was who?
Ryujin, the monarch of monsters,
Okay.
he's headed off in a different direction, but he wants you to go to Tokyo.
Okay.
So he's pretty much telling you, come here, go there. I'm going somewhere else. That's the feeling you get as an animalistic. He's an alpha, so you're going to do whatever he pretty much tells you to do. And it says that now is a good time for origin stories. And I'm like, we really never hammered that out. So when Mike gets back, we'll talk about it. This is the flashback scene. Because some of the monsters are going to Tokyo and some are not. So it gives you an example of where some of the others are going.
Still early.
It's almost 8:45.
8:45?
I'm semi-aquatic, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm good till 10. So.
So basically, we're going to do flashbacks.
Good
Cause...
till Thursday.
Okay, all right. I can't bring myself to say it. That's too mean.
What?
Good till Thursday? About the same time it took you to set up those damn cameras. I couldn't help it.
That are
It's
working.
true.
It just popped in there.
That are working wonderfully.
Yeah. Yeah. They probably will be working by Thursday.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Sorry.
Oh, that salt! It just burns the wound. Well. No, I'll leave it in because it's true.
Oh, that knife sticking out your back. Oh, that's a funny.
No, it's true.
So, Ryujin is headed for the Mariana Trench, but he's pretty much telling you guys to go to Tokyo. Some of the other monsters are going to Tokyo, but most of them are just kind of going wherever they want. Okay. And it says this is a good time, because we never really did talk too much about it, origin stories. So this is a flashback for the people at home. It says, each player can create their own flashback, a recap of their monster's origin story, which is, we've already done that, but let each player narrate where her creature came from, what city she destroyed, or threat she defeated, and any other details she wants to entertain the rest of the group with. The good news is anybody who participates in this gets a Benny.
Oh
wow.
And we should have drawn 3 bennies, but just keep track. But
Right.
if you do this, you get 4 bennies.
Wow.
So, if you want, I will go first.
Yeah, give us an example, please.
So, the origin story is, as I said, brother and sister Toshiro and Hitomi Sato are Japanese scientists, animal behaviorists, and they pretty much specialize in the appearance of Daikaiju. Their father was a studier of them in the 50s or in the 60s, and he's pretty much passed it on to them or their parents, and now they have kind of taken up the mantle of the Daikaiju behavior studies. Toshiro had a very keen insight into how Daikaiju think and what the pecking order and hierarchy is and kind of what they're going to do. He could just pick out nuances. If Tobar was about to charge, he knew it before anybody else. He'd be like, watch out, he's going to charge. You know, like, are you sure he's going to? Yeah, he's going to charge. And then he'd start pawing at the ground. And he'd be like, I told you, you can't make him mad like that.
Right.
So he was that kind of guy. His sister was just about as smart, if not equally smart, but he was very intuitive, where she was very meticulous. It ended up, though, because of studying some of the Daikaiju that were heavy in radiation, he developed cancer, and he died. But before he died, he and his sister agreed to pattern his brainwaves into an algorithm, a programming algorithm, to help understand Daikaiju. Maybe she could use it to communicate with them, or whatever she could do. So he passed away. She had the algorithm. The scientist, Werner Bolstein and Kenji Ioto, built the caretaker units, 7 of them, and they wanted to program them to be zookeepers, essentially, and they wanted to test them out, and they programmed most of them, but had told me wanted to take one and try the algorithm in it. She didn't want to put it in all of them because she didn't know if it would work, and she just happened to pick caretaker number 5. Downloaded the program, and it actually became self-aware, an AI. But it's not sure. It doesn't realize it's Toshiro yet, but it knows her, so it's very protective of her, and it follows her orders. If she tells it to do something, it'll do it. It'll do other scientists, but if the scientists are like, destroy that Daikaiju, and she's like, don't do it, it'll just stand down.
Yeah.
Well, my sister said that. So when it first went online, it was at the sanctuary, and he had to face like a lot of the Daikaiju were uprising, kind of like they did just now, but it was more just an agitation thing. They didn't have it an open sanctuary yet. It was closed off. They were getting irate because they were confined. So they started breaking out of their cells, and they sent the caretaker units in. Well, the only one to survive that onslaught was caretaker 5, because he could outthink them or intuit them and calm them down, because he is essentially a zookeeper. So he kind of did the, raptors kind of pose with the Daikaiju. And
Abigail.
yeah, once that happened, he was the last caretaker, and they were going to bring him in for repairs, which he didn't really need any. But when they brought him in, he pretty much contacted her through a computer. He talks like Cyborg, where it just types on a computer on a readout.
Cool.
I mean, he can speak, but it's like he can just do it on a keyboard. So it just said, "Leave me here, among my kind."
Yeah.
And it was like, among your kind, he believes, it's under the impression that it is
Oh, it is
a Daikaiju. So because it thinks like them, it must be one of
It
them.
must be one. Yeah.
And it doesn't realize that it's actually a human brain.
Right.
So he's actually gone native. So he's been on the sanctuary this whole time. So he never really destroyed a city, but he does kind of have that intuitive sense about it. So with your characters, he can connect. And so if you're getting agitated, he will realize it. If you're like, we should surrender, he can actually boost you up, whatever. He's kind of like your backup guy. But he's actually pretty cool. He's got his own special things. His racial abilities are ranged attack, which are basically his lasers that he can use.
Pew.
That's what they do to Pew.
Yeah. He's fully sapient.
Infinity in
He's
the air.
obviously a tool user, which he actually does have. Like, I see it as kind of Optimus Prime.
Mm-hmm.
His hand will change into like the big blade.
Oh, cool.
So he's got the sword. He's aquatic. He has +2 charisma. And he's got the keen sense, which is basically his danger sense for noticing when Daikaiju are going to act up.
Danger Will Robinson.
His hindrances are loyal, minor, to his sister and the Daikaiju. Delusional, minor. He thinks he's one of them. And he's dependent, which is his sister. So he needs to protect her at all costs. So. But that is basically his origin story. He was actually, if you will, conceived on the sanctuary, and he just feels like he's one of you. So.
Who's next?
Virgin Birth. Shailud is a very ancient Daikaiju of the middle Saharan desert. And for a long time he was mostly inactive and in hibernation. And there had been a very old established cult of the worm that carried the traditions secretly within it because they had otherwise been outlawed because of the Muslim faith, considered heretics. But there was a dedicated small group that continued over the centuries believing in Shailud as the cleanser of the desert and the guardian of the desert. And finally, when all this Daikaiju stuff started happening, it awoke it. and began attacking some of the dirty, nasty oil fields, particularly in Libya. And that was where the UN caught him as he was demolishing a nasty oil spilling petroleum refinery there in southern Libya. And that's where they ensnared it and got him to the Monster Island, the Benin Islands. The cult of the worm, having always worshipped him, Hamas was the current leader of the cult and had a empathic communication with it. And so with it ensnared and taken away by the United Nations, he felt it was his duty to serve and protect his liege, his god, and so followed to the facility. Shaloud is able to breathe a sandstorm from his mouth as a weapon, replete with boulders in the midst of it. Now, he can't swim. He does have a minor hindrance in that. So if he is going to cross water, he's forced to go on the bottom surface of the ocean. He is also, I'm sorry, that's Hamas. Excuse me. He's able to grab, but he's at a penalty.
Sandstorms too.
Holy crap!
Well, it's his rhetoric.
Yeah.
Shaloud doesn't have hands, so he is at a -4 to grab, but he can do that with his tail to grapple. And once grappled, he is able to actually make a bite attack. He does have a, as of yet, undeclared enemy that's a recurring nemesis. And his dependent is the psychic link to Hamas. He does have a mutation that will allow him later to get more edges. But he's able to have a arcane resistance if he gets extra armor if attacked by some arcane source. He can burrow. He bites. He's got the blast template for the breath, the desert storm breath. That's pretty much it.
Okay. So now, let me ask you this, just so I know. When he was attacking the oil refineries, was he going out of his way to like protect humans, or was it you're in the way? When he fought the UN, did he go peacefully, or did he just?
No, they did have to. They did. It doesn't really care on the humans per se if they happen to be collateral damage. Just the whole thing was that this place is evil. It is destroying the desert. It is polluted, massive pollution. Yeah. And this place has to be stopped.
So not going out of your way to hurt humans, but if they're in the way, it's their fault.
It's kind of they're just
unless they're the followers. It's like you're cool.
But you should know better. Get out of the way.
Yeah.
He would of course not harm Hamas.
Right.
Himself.
Right.
So if Hamas placed himself, hold, oh great Shaloud, then it would pull up and stop.
Yeah. Okay.
At least in that direction.
Yeah. Go right around him. You're this big, dude.
Or over him.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. Okay, so Moai Akau Miami is actually an old god from Polynesia, back in the ancient Polynesian times, from Rapa Nui. And before he became a Daikaiju, he was actually another being altogether. He was a god that was worshipped. And not in true history, but in the game history, he led the Polynesian people to conquer most of the islands around Polynesia. Well, on his very last raid, because he was the hunter god that was always worshipped, he was killed. And when that happened, they would carve giant statues of the gods, which is where all the Easter Island heads in the game came from. They're representations of the different ancient gods. His statue, however, got buried in a landslide and earthquake centuries and centuries ago. When he died, his soul went into the Easter Island body. And that's where, for centuries, they would just worship at the head, or at the bottom. It was a full statue back then, of course. They would just worship at the statue for him. And he was there, but he was a statue. He didn't move. Centuries and centuries later, another earthquake and landslide exposed him underneath the ocean. Something then allowed him to wake up, but he wasn't in his original body. He's now in this Easter Island body. And actually, what woke him up was his TH, which is his connector, his human, is a direct bloodline of him.
Oh, okay.
So
That makes sense.
him flying over the ocean, doing his tours, kept feeding him more energy to where he finally woke up and stood up and walked out.
That's cool.
Now, the kaiju knows he's his son, basically, but he doesn't tell TH that. He just goes on doing that. He's his edges are he's alert, brave, and he has luck. He's immune to poison, and he's fully sapient and a tool user. His hindrances, however, is he can't be away from TH for too long, because if he does, he'll just be a statue. He'll still be in there, but he'll freeze.
Yeah, his life force is intertwined.
Right. So he's dependent for his hindrances, and he's clueless to modern time. He's still functioning in a thought process of thousands and thousands of years ago in Polynesia. So all this modern stuff is a little bit like a future shock for the Daikaiju. He's functioning because TH kind of, TH kind of helps him to,
Understand,
right,
compare it.
Well, the problem with TH is TH has to learn Polynesian language because he's from there, but he was modern. He didn't learn the native language. He learned English. So he knows TH's grandparents used to talk Polynesian all the time. He knows enough to be able to communicate with Moai, but he's having to learn more because Moai will have full conversations in Polynesian with him, and he's like,
where is the bathroom?
right. So there's a little bit of a communication breakdown, but TH is trying to be more in control of his now. And TH does know he is the spirit of the hunter god Moai, and from the old Polynesian ancients. So.
Okay. So when he woke up, how did he come to be on the Sanctuary Island?
When he woke up, he started defending the Polynesian islands again. So
That makes sense. Look, here comes a tourist.
Well, what he actually
what the hell?
What he actually destroyed was an American naval base. That was
Okay.
in one of the islands, one of his favorite hunting islands back in the day.
And now there's this.
It wasn't right.
They were
that there was
trespassers.
right. These
Yeah.
aren't, and they didn't look Polynesian. He wasn't racist, but at the same time, what are these people? They don't look like
They're
my
not
people.
my people.
Right.
And what is all this modern?
What is all this shiny metal or whatever this
Pollution
is
and
stuff?
Giant
Yeah,
birds,
yeah.
giant metal birds.
So he destroyed an entire naval base, and that's when they actually caught him, as it were. He actually never got caught. He just agreed because TH basically talked him into it. It's like,
Okay.
look, things aren't like they used to be. You're not like you used to be, obviously. And, well, actually, in TH's mind, he doesn't know if he was always like this or not. maybe the old gods ran around as these things. They didn't, he's still trying to figure out what's going on.
The whole history.
Right. So, but basically, TH was able to talk him into going to the sanctuary because
give yourself up. It'll be easy.
Yeah.
We'll talk to your lawyer. We'll have you out.
We'll be able to figure this out better there, and that's basically what he convinced him to do. So he didn't actually get captured. He just went.
Okay.
So,
now, when he attacked the naval base, was he out for just destroying it? Was he trying to run them off? Was he trying to actively kill them?
he was trying to run them off.
God?
He's not a vengeful type god. He just you don't belong here.
So I'm going to destroy your stuff and scare you so you leave. Okay, got it. All right.
But he's a tool user. He's the hunter god. So he for a giant Easter Island statue, he was stalking through the jungles and things like that.
Yeah,
It was creepy as shit, basically.
Yeah, I can imagine that. I can imagine that. Okay.
And then I did find my typed out history.
Oh, okay.
Researcher scientist Drake Houston was a struggling astrophysicist and inventor who had a gift for understanding the universe and the world we lived on, but always a dreamer and a bit of a rebel. Looks like Robert Patterson from American Sniper.
Oh.
His wife, biologist and neurologist Anna Houston McHenry, Anna
Green Gables.
Yeah, Anna the arms, the hologram from Blade Runner 2. She actually has.
Oh, yeah.
She has Purdy. So, by the way, worked together with Reed Conglomerate, company owned by Roger Reed, Luthor, Michael Keaton with a Western draw, runs a global security firm, and weaponizes anything. And he's also part of trying to keep the Daikaiju in check and offering to keep them that. So he probably runs behind the scenes the actual place we just broke out of.
Yeah, he probably has a stake in it.
Yeah.
He probably, and if it was there was one person who stood in his way of controlling it, it would probably be Dr. Tanaka.
Yep, that was probably it.
So she's probably yeah.
Might have even had something to do.
You have a lot of shares, but I have the most. Why don't you sit your ass down?
You're lucky you're pretty girl. Too bad happened to your brother, huh? He's that kind of guy. They have an autistic daughter, Elizabeth. She was injured and became mute at 6 when a Daikaiju destroyed their grandparents' home, both who died. I forgot this point.
Oh.
She learned sign language after. Drake became obsessed with finding out more about the Daikaiju and stopping them from affecting the other children. So that's where that began.
Gotcha.
It killed his parents.
And probably why he's wanting to save humanity.
Yeah. He worked with Reed using tech to set up satellites and tracking systems, stopping gamma and other radiation from affecting those satellites. His wife researched the creatures themselves, which she has that. Due to the Elizabeth's condition, she would often come to work and sit in the corner with her chalkboard and do math. She was focused on math and gamma signals in the universe. When her father was about to be terminated for failing to save the satellite network from gammas and other stuff going on with the Daikaiju, she came up with a mathematical equation to fix the issues, but she added to the signal of the satellite that would answer a signal she always heard in her head. Because she has the powers, she's a psychic, so she actually has it.
She actually has powers.
And one of her things she has is divination, so it's the source. So she was hit that, but the gamma creature somehow it affected her brain, and she could hear the signal from far away. And she added to that math signal a communication. Reed found the signal and nearly fired him, but stopped it once the response came back. He wanted to be the first man to make contact with an alien. He was the eagle. So basically, he slipped something in there. They were sending off another signal. They're like, "What the hell is this? You're fired." And he figured out, wait a minute, sir, we're actually contacting another being and thing. Well, I'll be the guy who first contact with another alien race. We're going to keep that. 3 years later, the signal was answered. A probe from an ancient race or creature, or maybe just another Daikaiju, was not. No one knows yet. The probe came right from space and freaked out the main base and rocketed towards Elizabeth. The person sighted one object that began to grow and absorb her and the main base around her. Basically, it started absorbing her and everything around it to grow into something. And unfortunately, his wife and he were working with a Daikaiju that had been killed, that had killed his parents. So that's part of what it absorbed. So the probe,
The DNA of the Daikaiju.
yeah,
Okay.
basically it grew into that. The components of the lab and the building and everything. So it was like a tech bio creature all into me, and basically The creature and the other merged into the forming and the new creature Gamma Man. So it basically the father ran up, Drake pulled his daughter out of it, but when doing so, he got absorbed into the probe.
Okay.
Gamma Man is a sentient, has some of Drake's thoughts. He is there, but is lost and confused. Rage he had at the thing attacking Stardom became his primary mission to defend the humans, his daughter, his wife. But the creature has its instincts in the probe. The alien unknown at this point. Reed saw that he could threaten Drake's family to keep Gamma Man under his thumb like he had Drake back when he was an employee. Reed is ruthless and sees Drake as his and has turned Gamma Man into a product and part of his company's security service. He always wanted Anna, and he's always gets what he wants. She fights him and keeps trying to understand Drake now. Her daughter is even more autistic, being in a coma for some time, then coming able to only speak with her father, but sometimes control him, but also speaks other Daikaiju. She has that power where she can be Daikaiju friend.
Okay.
As Reed is stressed, drinking, and sometimes smoking and at her wit's end. Reed has started using Gamma Man as a toy line cartoon show and Captain Reed as Gamma Man's controller.
Captain Reed, nice.
If Drake goes nuts and gives to the other creature's side, Rue will pay the price. So he has a detonator in the creature's brain, and Drake's family is close to trigger as well. So yeah, so that was he has the major dependent, his wife and daughter. Enemy is Reed, but he's also planting an explosive in his head. So if Gamma Man starts to do something he doesn't like,
Suicide Squad.
he's gonna blow him up, or he's gonna take his kid, the family. So he's always got that as basically the enemy. He's loyal to the human race because of whatever happened before. So basically, I had his origin too. Was basically when all that kind of happened, the big guy, the Alpha, was attacking
Ryujin.
Ryujin was attacking San Francisco. It was coming after the probe because it didn't know.
Okay.
So it sensed that, and it started attacking the city. Gamma Man didn't really kind of fought it to the point where, because he's shorter, he's actually a -2 size, but he has tougher armor and toughness. So he has keen, the tools fighter, semi-aquatic, and he's got that base 10, and he has like horns that'll form.
Okay.
So he has like charge and hit.
Gotcha.
So he's really fast. So he kind of runs around. I see him kind of as like a Flash almost, kind of running around the field. So his main thing was like he kind of like outran. What was his name again? I'm sorry. Ryujin. And then he finally figured out, well, he's just a little guy. He's not really a threat. And he was, at that time, he kept trying to save buildings, rescue people, and do that as he ran around the city.
Right.
And then finally, he wasn't really a threat. Smelled him. It's like, well, you're nothing. You're just a little, like, basically knocked him down to where he was, like, down, but not out. And then he just left. And, but he kind of, like, with the cameras from him, he looked like he was, like, trying to save the city.
Right. Yeah.
From this great threat. And Reed just stepped in and said, oh, that's Gamma Man. That's our newest defense against the Daikaiju. That's what this is all about.
Gotcha. Okay.
So ever since then, he got then, and they just moved him over to the island to help with your guy to help do security. Yeah, caretaker.
Okay.
So
Cool.
that's kind of what it's been.
All right. That works. All right. So,
Thank you.
Judging by your flashbacks, I have some cool now story hook ideas,
Excellent.
especially for your human characters.
Hmm.
So, because you said he doesn't realize that TH doesn't realize he's actually a blood descendant of Mao.
No, he has no idea.
And
He's got god blood, basically.
Great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather.
Yep. And yours is pretty straightforward, but that could come into play. And you, I think I'm starting to figure out who answered the call.
Oh,
That
okay.
could be interesting.
It was the Borg.
One of us.
No, eventually, 3 years from now, you'll get a... We've been trying to reach you about your extended power.
It was all a telemarketing scam the entire time.
It's an actual race of telemarketers from outer space.
He's like, don't give him our social security number. But I was about to. It seems like a good deal.
All right. So that was the origin story. So for you people viewing at home, all one or two of you, thank you for joining us. And now you get an idea of what the characters really are and what they can do.
Kaiju can do.
Kaiju can do. Let's see.
Kaiju can do candy.
Ryrie conglomerate. Radioactive free, guaranteed.
I think we'll get through the next bit of narration, and then the next thing is going to be a big battle. So we'll do the narration to lead up to it, and we'll stop there. And then the next time we ever pick this up, we can do the next big battle. So the narration. Back at Kaiman Station, Director Tanaka and her crew, as well as General Richter, watch in dismay as radar shows the Daikaiju quickly approaching Tokyo Bay. Tanaka asks, what about the Navy? What about the city defenses? Richter's like, devastated. Something else is already attacking the city. Gargantuan crab-like biomechs or something made landfall in the Kaio industrial zone.
Aha.
One of the soldiers is like, we're being invaded? The scene shifts to the Kaio industrial zone outside of Tokyo. Crab-like biomechs stomp through factories, power plants, and petroleum and steel refineries, smashing everything in their path. Scuttling crab walkers, twice the size of tanks, dig through the rubble, salvaging materials for some unknown but certainly terrible purpose.
Oh.
Suddenly, the roars of the approaching Daikaiju echo across the bay. The biomechs turn to face their foes. In the cockpit of one distinct lobster-like biomech is Commandant Yalg, the architect of this devastation. He speaks into a tinny microphone, beaming his orders to his minions. Biomech pilots prepare to engage hostiles. This planet's true guardians have arrived. Sell your lives dearly for the Khan Association and protect the seismic disruptor. The biomechs clash their claws together and salute. Biomech pilots, hail Commander Yalg for the Protostomian Khan Association. Yeah, say that 3 times. Yalg, come.
Prostate masturbation.
Y'all, come on now.
Come, you monsters, come to Commandant Yalg and die, Kaiju, die. These creatures, Commandant Yalg and his ilk, are a humanoid cross between a mollusk, an octopus kind of thing.
I knew they were aliens.
And kind of crabs, crustaceans. So they're kind of like, I almost see them as like the bad guys from Galaxy Quest, but more mind flayer like.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So just imagine part octopus, part crustacean, and they're biomechs. I think there's pictures of them.
I think there were. If I remember.
We're about to do some serious damage to some shit.
They have a dun, 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 dun.
So these are the little.
State Farm.
Oh.
These are the tanks, the biomechs that are like twice the size of a tank. They're like scavenger vehicles. And then I think, I'm not sure if this is a particular one. This is probably the biomechs, and this is probably Commandant Yalg's biomech.
Oof.
So that's basically what you're going to be facing.
No problem. We got
in
this.
this industrial zone.
Just bring butter.
Yep. Butter and
Lots
my
of lemon.
ranged attack is lemon.
Lemon!
I can't see.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry we had some technical issues.
Sorry,
next
guys.
As always, we've
Yep.
had technical issues all the time.
Next
Yep.
week we should be up and running with everything again.
Ah.
Don't forget.
I'm fired.
Don't forget our next level of giveaways will be our 50 subscribers on YouTube, unless for some reason TikTok hits 500. So
And hopefully we'll have some fuller videos on YouTube coming soon.
coming up
Yes.
soon.
Yes.
So we'll get that
You guys-
situated.
If you've been watching YouTube, you've missed out on some pretty epic gaming stuff.
But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you
The
all.
mummies.
Yes, thanks everyone.
For now, keep rolling. We'll see y'all soon. And I gotta figure out how to turn this off.